Hello everyone, my name is Bree and welcome to Documented Journey. This video has been requested and so I thought that I would share with you how I make my little calendar inserts and walk you through my process. So this was the first one that I've ever made. It was I think February through March. I realized quite quickly that I didn't like how I had this set up, and I can explain to you why. But then I moved into a little mini one for just April, and I really enjoyed this. And then I went into this one for May. And so I kept it 1 month, and I really like that. And I'm gonna do the same for June as well. So let's just talk about why I choose to do 1 month, or if you are gonna do multiple months, there's just one thing that I would do differently. So as you see here, I went ahead and put February on the left side, so that way my flap could go towards the right and it could hold my bookmark or my page, and so it's like holding my bookmark, which is really nice. But I decided to put March on this side, and this is just harder to flip up and open up to. So for the most part, I will have a tab on here, and when you open a book, you always open a book from your right and then open to your left, and so it's just easy to do that. I always had to turn it over, which is fine, to open up my March. It just wasn't, because you've done it one way your whole life, the muscle memory of it was difficult. So you could either turn your book over for March, or you could just, instead of doing it where you glued it to the back and then it flipped in towards your left, you just glue it to one of these pages and it flips towards your right, and it would be fine. For me though, I didn't like the thickness of the book. I like it to be thin because I like to put it into my pocket, and as much as cork doesn't stretch, it also kind of does. So for me, the thinner the better, because I like my things to slide in really easily. And so that's why I chose to do just the 1 month. So these two images were pulled from Kat Riles. She has a Patreon that she shares monthly calendars on, and I really enjoy them. However, I wanted to start using my own art for the cover, and so what I did was I took the postcard for the month, because that is something I don't use. I use the sticker for the month in these monthly pages that I have. Let's see if I can find one and not show you too much of my journal. But I use the sticker and use it as a highlight page. So every month I have a page that says the month, and then I put the sticker down, and then I just jot down, like, it almost looks like a to-do list, but it's just highlights of the month. Like, when I say highlights, sometimes they're just not good. So they're not like good highlights. Sometimes they're bad things that happen, but I want it to be a true representation of myself, and so I write the good and the bad. I always like to have a tab, so that way I can use it to open my notebook up, and I like to have the cover be the postcard, and then on the inside I've been using Kat's calendar pages that she offers us. So I don't have the calendar page printed out for the inside, but I do want to put the book all together and show you how I do it for the outside. Oh, today I was just setting up my next month's journal. Not next month. It might be next month. I think I'll probably get into it in maybe middle of July or August. But I did all the calendars for the rest of the year, and then I did, I think I did January, and February, and then I stopped. But I am ready for my next blank Hobonichi notebook. I've got it all stickered up, and that's what I was working on before I started this video. But okay, so the materials that you're gonna need to make this notebook, this little insert, is piece of paper that I've already cut down, and I cut them to 6.5 by 5.5, and then I folded them in half. So 6.5, oh nope, 6.5 by 5, and then I folded them in half. This is just old paper that I had left over, and then I went ahead and got like a heavier cardstock for the front. And then I also printed out my calendar page. I printed this from blankcalendarpage.com. Now it prints large on your printer if you just print it from your computer. But my computer, if I put this into my Mac, because that's what I use, and I put it into the photo section, and I go and I print this out, I can actually print this a size, and so that's what I did. You're gonna have to play around with your size and what you think will work. If you're pretty familiar with DIY, you can figure this out. And who knows, this size might not be the size for you. It just works for me. So what I'm gonna do is I am first going to stack these up and bind them. This is my little box or kit, I guess, to bind. And what I like to use is an owl. And this is just something that pokes through the pages. You actually don't need this. You could just use a needle and it would be fine. But I have it, so I use it. You need to be careful on the backside so you don't poke yourself. But I just do 3 holes. I don't need them. I don't need many. I could probably just get away with doing 2 holes, but I do 3 because I just like to space and even them out. And then I get out my needle and thread. With my thread, I like to wax it. I wax my own thread because I don't like the thickness of a pre-waxed thread. It's just too thick. So what I do is I'll show you. I buy embroidery floss like this, and then I cut it to size, and within each embroidery floss, I think there's like 6 strands, or maybe 5, kind of like wrapped together. I pull 3 out, and that's what I wax. I do this because I don't like having, like I said, I don't like having a thick string. So I wax it like this. I just do this probably about 10 times, and then this one's already waxed. And then I flip it over and do the same thing about 10 times, and then my thread is waxed. And this is how I used to do even all the journals that I made in my website. I just do not like the pre-waxed thread. It's just too thick. So how to do this is I've made my 3 holes in the crease of the binding. And then I want to go through, I like to start in the middle. I go through and I just hold the end, so that way I have somewhat of a like 3-inch tail, so that way I can tie a knot. And you can either go to the top or bottom, it doesn't matter because you only have 3 holes here. And I poke through, and then I weave back to the center hole, come out the end, poke up to the top hole, and then this is where I tie a knot. It's super, super easy. And I like this binding because it lays flat, especially if you don't have very many pages, which I don't. All right, so like I said, this lies really flat because I don't have very many pages in it. If you had more pages in it, it wouldn't lie as flat. This is something that they use for this is how they do staple binding. This is how they do their stitch binding. It's on the edge here on the crease. And I enjoy this. I made sure that I counted my pages out. So what I have here is I have a section to be able to put my calendar. I'm gonna tape this in here. I like double-sided tape. I'm gonna tape this in here because I like the calendar to be at the front. Okay, so I'm gonna do that now. And like I said, I normally have an image that I put on here. I just have not printed that out as of right now, so I'm just gonna leave it blank. And then I will put a tab like I have here. I will put a tab at the top so that way this will flip out really nicely. With June, it has 30 days. And so what I like to do is I like to start with 1, 2. So I split my page in half to get 2 days. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, and then 30 and 30, and I have 30 days. So that's how I make sure that I can count my pages. I use this side because why not? And then on the back, what I do is this is where I list my order numbers. So I just write order numbers. And then I have this code here. It's nothing really that matters to you, but I need it sometimes. And then I just list order numbers so that way I know what order number I'm on, in the queue, if that makes any sense. So there's that. And now I want to put my card on here, my what is this? Postcard. And I have to cut it down. So I'm gonna take my ruler, and this is where this gets like kind of tricky. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can kind of do it however you want, but this is smaller than this one. So I maybe should have made it bigger, but that's okay. So 5 by 3 1/4. So 3 1/4. I just want to see what I can get and what I can't get. All right, so it looks like I am going to just start slicing. So 3 and a little bit. This is 3. And then I'm gonna go up here and cut here. I might have to trim more off. No, that looks good right there. Okay, now I need to figure out where I want this guy to be. Do I want this white space up here? Or am I gonna chop off his head, you know what I mean? So this is 5. So I'm just going to see. I'm gonna cut it here. All right, so this is what I have to work with. I think I like the full flower, but if I do the full flower, let's see where this chops him. This literally chops his head off. What if I did that? Okay, that's not bad. Okay, so we're gonna chop right above the stars. He's gonna have no antenna. And then we're gonna chop at 5. So a little bit of, that'll be fine. All right, so this is gonna be my front. I'm gonna tape that on. And this is super easy. My paper cutter needs a new blade, and so it never cuts nicely. Actually, when I change the blade, it still kind of does this. Does anyone else have that problem with this paper cutter? It's really convenient, but it's not the best. And it doesn't matter if I have, I messed that up a little bit. There we go. It doesn't matter if I have like really nice paper that it's cutting or really thin or really thick. It always is jagged. Okay. Oh, wait, I got in here to get this. I like tape runners. You can use glue, of course, but I don't have time for that. So I use a tape runner. This one is not my favorite, but I can find the refills because I don't like to have to buy the plastic case every time. So I also have a huge one, but I want to be able to use something at my desk. So I think I actually just ran out. Did I? So I'm going to set this on the front cover, and this is going to be the cover for June. Perfect. Then I have a little bit of my art and a little bit of Kat's art, and that's lovely. Okay, and I get to do something with my postcards for the month. This is the postcard for the month. Do I have the sticker? Let's see. I just cut it up, but you can still kind of see that that's the postcard. The sticker for the month is this guy. So again, kind of chopped the moth up, but really excited for this month, the June sticker. And then all I do now is I go through and I just divide my page in half and I date it. So I have a system here where I just kind of like pick a spot here and then I say, okay, it's Saturday. So I like to put my number first. Oh, I just wrote 2. How do I do that? Of course I do that on camera. All right. I'm just gonna write my number first. It's the 1st. I write Saturday. And then this is where I write the month, June. And then sometimes I write the date. I'm just gonna write 25. What is my deal? I don't know what's going on. It's not 2025, it's 2024. Maybe it's because I just did the month just a second ago in this book. Okay, and so then what I do is I just kind of count down here, and I think it's divided in half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so I'm gonna write, what am I gonna write? The second date. Sunday, June 2024. And then I just continue on with this the whole time until I get to the end. And these are my little DIY monthly inserts. I've saved them since I started, and it's not something that I'm actually going to do. I'm just gonna burn these when we have our next fire because I don't need them. But I feel like they're just the perfect little thing to be able to slide into your notebook and pull out when you need it. The cool thing is too, is if I don't want to take my whole notebook with me, this fits really easy in my purse. And there are times where I just need to write something down and this is the perfect little spot to do it. I don't have to take my whole notebook because it is getting kind of chunky. I'm coming to the end of the journal, and so it's not as easy to slide in and out of my purse anymore. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It was super simple, super easy. I can link the calendar website in the description below. And I hope you learned something, even if it's just a little tip on like waxing your thread. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll see ya.